Ladies and gentlemen, the Fantasy Footballers.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought I was just hanging out with you guys. Hey, guys. The host, this is so amazing, of the number one most listened to fantasy football podcast in the business, with lots of congratulations in order. Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, Mike Wright, the Fantasy Football Ballers. Let's start here. 10th anniversary. Crazy show just went down at the Palace Theater. Who are you guys, Metallica? What's happening?
Yeah, Jason's voice is still recovering, I think, from that intro. He broke his voice.
Yeah, it's my voice is a little lower. My hamstrings are a little tighter from the jump kicks. So but you got to do what you got to do in fantasy football.
That's right.
I want to ask you, Andy. Let's be serious though. Like, what does that mean to you? That must have been like. Every NFL player I ever talked to was like, I would love to know what it feels like to be a rock star. You're there with the Foot Clan, but it had to be. No, I'm being serious.
Yeah,
like it had to be pretty emotional. Like it's amazing.
It is always really unique to connect with fans in person. Like you do the podcast and they're at a distance and everything. And so, when you're in person and you see the passion, like it is simultaneously like super humbling and amazing. And it's a culmination of a bunch of years and also ridiculous at the same time, because we get to do this, incredible job about a fake, fantasy football universe. And it was special. It was really cool.
I don't know if people were throwing bras on the stage, underwear. I don't know, but Mike. But let's go through a couple of my highlights here. Mike, tell me what's going on with the inflatable shark. Go for it.
Oh my goodness, the inflatable shark.
Yes, look at it.
That's the pinnacle of my career. It's the greatest moment. I think it's all down here. People or downhill. People have said, "Can you jump the shark after you have danced with a shark?"
Oh.
I'm not sure just yet. Hopefully not too soon.
Yeah.
But that was a couple of our producers up there just making their money.
I mean, your dance moves are unparalleled, and then there's Jason with a T-shirt cannon. Who knew?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the T-shirt cannon is kind of my main problem. Yeah, I mean I'm all about love and T-shirt cannon. So it's my two favorite things coming together.
And I know you're the resident dad on the show. What is going through your mind as this madness unfolds on stage in front of you? What are going through? What's going through our head?
Yeah, I mean it is a lot of fun.
Don't fall down.
Talk about don't fall down, don't tear an ACL, and don't cry. Those are my main must do's. And I will say that genuinely, I know our first time we ever did one of these live shows somewhere else in Minneapolis. That was like when the crowd was out there and they were genuinely screaming and they wouldn't stop, and we're like, okay, and they're still going. It was like, hold it together. And I know myself, Mike as well. We both were just about to start bawling on stage. It's just wild that we get to do it. And it's like Andy said, like we know we've got a large audience, but when you're face to face with them, when you actually get to hear the people talk about like, you're like my best friend. It's a cool experience.
It's incredible, and I think the reason why you guys are successful is because you're genuine. Fans see themselves in you and are like, they're getting to do this. Like, I would love to do this. And there's always, I feel like everything, even, I mean, you guys give information, you truly provide a service and education, but you're grateful. Like, there's a gratitude that has not escaped the three of you throughout the process, and I bet fans loved it. I wish I could have gone. But right now I'm going to use you. That's what you're here. I'm just going to love you and leave you. Let's do this thing.
Yeah.
Listen, last night, McVay comes out, he gets fantasy owners, they're in a tizzy. He names his RB1, Kyren Williams, his number one punt returner for the season. Now, I've seen Kyren's draft stock plummet from RB5 all the way down to like RB17 on some draft boards. Andy, are people overreacting, or is there legitimate concern with this?
I think it's the stack of things that have happened, and this is, we're in like draft season. We're about to go to the table, go to the mat, make the pick. And when, Blake Corum, okay, it's a little talking point. Then it's, we need to give him some time. We need to give him some plays off. All right, that's fine. But like punt returner, I think it's getting into the back of people's heads. And, I happen to be a big Blake Corum fan to begin with. So I do believe that there is a chance that we don't get the workload that we want with Kyren. And that doesn't mean he's not going to be really efficient. The top running back in this offense is always really impactful. It's just, we're always looking for that, little edge, and it does put a little bit of doubt in my mind.
Yeah, and I know that you're big on the Rams. That's why I'm asking you. You have them to win the West, which I love.
That's right. Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, the offense is great. The offense is dynamic, and you look long term. Do they want to give him some time off? It makes me a little bit nervous, but we'll see. I don't know if Jason's as concerned.
Yeah, personally, I'm not. I mean, the Blake Corum thing was already baked in. Like, we knew he was there. The fact that it comes out is like he's our punt returner, that keeps another guy on the roster. And, it's a good move by McVay. Back when, Cooper Kupp was the offensive player of the year, guess who their punt returner was? It was Cooper Kupp. It's like, okay, he's going to be out there waving his hand, catching a fair catch, and then be already on the field to take the handoff. That's how I feel.
And Blake Corum is a great handcuff, it sounds like, guys.
He is an insurance running back that I'm leaving the draft with. We don't always recommend those guys because things change so much. Should a starter go down to injury, you think you have it nailed. No, this is the backup, and then
it's a committee.
Then the waivers run, and you find out, no, I picked up DeMarcado off of the waiver wire, and I set all my fab on fire like I did last year. But Blake Corum feels pretty locked in to be, just waiting with huge upside on your bench.
I love talking fab with you three amazing fantasy footballers taking over the world. The #1 fantasy football podcast available. It's incredible. And there's so much, by the way, it's like too much to even put in my mind. And then there's just a lot. And then you guys have a daily fantasy one. It's everything going on. Like, I made up some categories so we can get as much information as possible from you guys to help fantasy drafters who are drafting tonight, this weekend. Our first category is a sequel that holds up. Okay, this is the second-year player. Second-year player, you're most confident in seeing a jump in fantasy production. Let's get 30 seconds on the clock. Jason, we're going to start with you.
I'm going to go with Devon Achane. He is unbelievable. I know his efficiency can't stay at 7.7 yards per carry, but he is truly elite, and he's the type of athlete that is faster than the fastest guy on the field, and those things break the NFL. They break fantasy. I see shades of CJ2K where if he, this is an offense that you want pieces of. I used to be more and more scared of the smaller guys, but in today's NFL, the smaller guys can stick around. His speed is going to have a bunch of long touchdowns, and I think he breaks out this year.
Love that. Mike, which year 2 player are you eyeing?
So I'm looking at it's not really a sequel to hold up because there wasn't much going on in year 1. I'm going with Jackson Smith and Jigba of the Seattle Seahawks. At this point, you can't look at year 1's production. You have to go back to what you believed in him as a player, which was a absolutely dynamic player in college who was outproducing a lot of guys who are looked at as superstars in the NFL now today. He was better than them back in school. I know you just had Rome on, Rome has a new OC. Yeah. Jason did not have some kind things to say about that offensive coordinator. And now with Grubb coming into town and the way that I think that Seattle's going to change, and with him really having the juice, maybe Tyler Lockett's taking a step back. I think that he's a player that can take the big launch this year.
Andy, it's cutting into your time. Hit me.
Dalton Kincaid, you talked about him earlier today.
Yeah.
I mean, I think guaranteed production as a sophomore. He's set up better than anybody else. I mean, you lose Diggs, you lose Davis. You have a lot of unproven players. Samuel's dealing with injury. Kincaid is going to be that, locked and loaded, #1 target, I think, for Josh Allen, especially to start the year. And as Keon Coleman comes along, as they figure out what this offense looks like, with James Cook, with Dalton Kincaid, I think he's the guy to look to.
3 excellent picks, a lot of chemistry with the quarterbacks. Love it. HN literally like 9 yards per carry, like unbelievable clip. Such an amazing runner. Okay, our next category is undrafted gems, a player that's either not getting drafted or getting drafted in the way later rounds. I'm looking for values, Jason.
I'm going to go with Jordan Mason. He's, one of those insurance backs like Corum is, but this is a player last year. All the beat reporters were asking, Shanahan behind the scenes, like, why isn't he overtaking Elijah Mitchell? And Shanahan was just really, really loyal to Elijah Mitchell. You've got Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, he's the #1 pick in most people's drafts. He's dealing with a calf injury, has had injuries in the past. But now with Elijah Mitchell done for the season, Jordan Mason is the guy behind him. So he is a league winner should his opportunity arise.
Andy.
Yeah. I think it's J.K. Dobbins. I think J.K. Dobbins in L.A., where they're going to run the ball well. Already saw signs of what that offense is going to be with Harbaugh and Greg Roman in the preseason. Yards before contact, that was something that they struggle with. You already saw it on the field. And it's just a matter of whether you believe Dobbins can be back from injury and get the opportunity. You know, Gus Edwards is there. This is Baltimore West. And I think J.K. Dobbins has got that opportunity to show us what he's got. And he's not really being drafted, or he's the last round.
Greg Roman, we love it. Mike, wrap it up.
I'm going with Rico Dowdle from the Dallas Cowboys,
Let's
a.k.a.
go!
Rico Suave. Look, Zeke is there. That's great. I've seen him decline over 3 years. And
That's great.
Despite Tom Pelissero's whatever is going on Twitter of him thinking that Dalvin Cook is the greatest player of all time who's just happened to be available, he's going to be on the practice squad. Look, Dallas is going to be a really strong offense. I'm going to chase the talent. All the beat reporters have been consistently saying Rico Dowdle is the best running back on this team, and he's going super late.
God, if you're right about that, dude, that's just going to be so awesome. Like it'll be.
This dude loves
amazing.
Dowdle. This dude loves Dowdle.
Guilty.
Clearly. Listen, Roma Dunze was talking to me about hot dogs. I'm here to talk to you guys about beef, okay? Fantasy beef. So we got you each have a very specific brand. You have your people that are on the middle of your dartboards. But you're not a fan of Kyle Pitts, Andy. Mike, you have Arthur Smith is not your favorite, understandably. Jason, though, let's get to this. Why are you beefing with Sam Darnold before he even gets going?
Well, because he's gotten chances to get going plenty of times. And so it's really one of those things where maybe this is, he just needs half a decade and then he'll be good. But he's had the opportunities. He's had,
You were once a believer.
I was once a believer.
A long time
as
ago.
was the NFL when they, drafted him
He hurt
in the
you.
top 5 picks.
He hurt you.
But
Yeah.
his 17-game pace over his third and fourth season as starters, those are veteran years. He was on pace to throw 13 passing touchdowns over the course of a season. And that's a 17-game season, which it wasn't even 17 back then. So I just worry from a fantasy perspective that he's going to ruin our Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson's so great, but if Jefferson can't get up, 7, 8, 9, 10 touchdowns, then you're going to be disappointed. He's going in the first round, and Darnold worries me.
Who did he have to throw to, Sam, in these disappointing years?
Man, back with Carolina,
He had DJ Moore, didn't he?
He had DJ Moore at one point. So you've got Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver he will have ever played with. But you saw him in one game as a starter last year with the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, we did.
And he was okay. He was fine, but he's not lighting anything, any scoreboards up for fantasy.
I got to tell you, I will not take the Sam Darnold slander on my show. I'm rooting for a rewrite. Listen, I saw this go on during your 10th anniversary show that we obviously watched and loved. I'm gonna have to hit you guys.
Oh!
Come on! With one of these.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's on you, Jay.
All right.
I need one of these performed on Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Can we make it happen?
Yeah, no
Jay.
problem. I believe coming out of college, genuinely, that year, he was the best quarterback of the draft class and should have been the first one drafted. He has not had opportunities to work with a great offensive mind. Sure, he had DJ Moore. DJ Moore is a good, weapon in the passing game, but he didn't have a good offensive coach. Now, I am a big believer in the offensive system. You add in Jordan Addison, my guy from last year, who had a great rookie breakout season. As the season goes on and things get a little tougher, you're going to have Hawkinson coming back.
Boom,
so I think
boom.
you've got, 3 great weapons, an offensive mind, and he's, look, we saw this with Geno Smith. You're telling me it can't be done? Of course you can do it late in your career, and I think Sam Darnold gets it done this season.
Boom!
Well done! Mike, Andy, are you loving this?
Oh, this is. I am loving this very, very much. Yeah, they shocked me with that golden ticket at the live show. So yeah,
Well,
Sam Darnold's biggest
That's
fan
my,
right here.
my dude.
This is better than anything Wonka could. Well, I do want to ask you guys though about Justin Jefferson. I was looking at FanDuel. I think it's 1,300 yards. Is the over? Yeah, it's over under 1,300.5 yards. Where are we with that? I feel like
I'd
I'm
go
banging
over.
the over.
Yeah, I'm taking the over.
I'll take the over on that. We saw Justin Jefferson with the likes of Nick Mullins last year. Like this team, they don't care who's at quarterback. They are going to throw. So the yards, I think we're all confident that the yards will be there. The biggest question for Sam Darnold is when the field shrinks, can we actually get some touchdowns? Because that's what Jefferson will need to pay off, being a first-round wide receiver. The yards, though, they'll be happening because they're going to throw a ton.
Love that. I mean, you put up 1,008 full games last year, just 8 full
Yeah.
games now, with the
Wow.
volume and all of that. I will say I'm really looking forward to clipping this for the internet and cutting out this whole part and just having the bit where Jason's like,
yeah.
I effing love Sam
Yes.
Darnold.
What?
No.
What bit? I don't even understand.
There
That's
was no bit. You guys are amazing. We have to go, but I did want to say that everyone out there should be supporting these guys. And the Foot Clan community certainly is. If you're not part of it, get in on it because you guys have raised more than $250,000 in support of St. Jude's Children's Hospital over the past 5 years. It's unbelievable. And I know that a portion of sales for the Fantasy Footballers Ultimate Draft Kit, which is insane, and all you need is you guys head into your drafts. It goes directly to St. Jude's. So please visit ultimatedraftkit.com to crush your draft and support the cause. It's very cool that you guys do that. Very cool.
Well, thank you.
so much.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
You're the best. And thanks to whoever did this, whoever created
Oh,
this.
that's spectacular.
It's amazing.
That's a good print job.
I think, yeah, I know. I think I'm going to put it back here. It's going to be back here on my
Very
set.
nice.
Subscribe to the Fantasy Footballers podcast, every streaming platform. There's weekly rankings, fantasyfootballers.com, the whole thing. Andy, Jason, Mike, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Sam Darnold for president. Why not? We'll be back. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. You can subscribe right here to get the latest from the show and check out more of the best clips from Up and Adams, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FanDuel.